welcome to our West Coast Today podcast with me, Kathy Griffiths.
Me, Owen Wild.
Me, Matt Young.
And me, Fiona Scott.
Here's a wee taster of some of the stories from Scotland's West Coast this week, appearing in this Thursday's Oban Times and Lochaber Times, and on our one-stop shop website, www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. We love hearing your stories, so why not drop us an email at editor@obantimes.co.uk or editor@lochabertimes.co.uk or through our socials. Or you can always give us a call on 01631 568 000. Food for thought this week on the front page of the OT, and one of our big online stories. Huge, massive, humongous shout out to Oban mum of two and nurse Roxanne McCulloch, who was off duty and treating her son to a half-term meal out when a fellow diner started choking on a piece of steak. Nightmare. Roxanne leapt into action and performed the Heimlich Manoeuvre, saving the woman's life. Incredible stuff. Her action has been inspiring many others to take up first aid training. So you can read more about that story in this week's OT and online at www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. Ooh, did I put an extra dot in there? Anyway, you've got it. www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. Owen, what have you been working on?
Thank you, Kathy. Well, a man is planning to run from Dumbarton to Tighery and back in 7 days in memory of his sister, who passed away a decade ago from leukemia. Harry McTaggart will be in Oban twice for the challenge, which is raising cash for 2 cancer charities. That distance is more than 7 marathons, by the way, meaning he'll be running a marathon a day, although luckily for him, he gets the rest on the ferry to Tighery. And there's outrage on Mull over plans for a new house at Calgary Bay, along the path to the old pier and Innervie ruins. The 4-bed home is built away from the established settlements of Calgary and would see the coastal path moved closer to the shore. Objections are rising fast, hitting 115 as of yesterday.
Thanks, Owen. Matt, you're up next.
Thank you, Kathy. Gosh, goodness me, 1 marathon almost killed me, so I can imagine 7 being quite challenging.
Yes, no thank you.
No. A business organisation has called for a focus on affordable house building to tackle Argyll and Bute's ongoing housing crisis. The Argyll and Bute Business Alliance made the call after concerns that short-term lets were being blamed for the housing emergency announced back in 2023. Colin Wright from the ABA said building significant more housing was the only option. Oban Rugby Club have made youth development the focus of their future, as the team plan to set up a structure focusing on the next generation of talent. Included in the plans is a search for a head of youth development, as well as volunteers to help with the running of youth matches. Oban has made history developing fine rugby players, with Magnus Bradbury making it all the way to Scotland's first team and Abby Evans now down in the best city in the world playing for the Warriors. So if you fancy helping Oban Rugby Club out, give them a call or an email, and you can read more in this week's paper.
Thanks, Matt. What have you got for us this week, Fee?
Well, we're kicking off on a controversial note this week as developers respond to the calls to demolish the Glen Coe property last owned by paedophile Jimmy Savile. Last week, Councillor Andrew Baxter called on the Highland Council to step in and use the powers available to it to get rid of the graffiti-covered blot in the landscape once and for all. Current owners, the Glenshire Group, have responded by saying that they remain fully committed to moving ahead as soon as a building warrant and other necessary approvals are finalised. Back in Fort William, we dropped into Cool Community Centre last week as NHS Highland unveiled plans for the long-awaited and much-needed new Belford Hospital. Members of the public were invited to go along and put their questions and concerns to representatives of everyone involved in the project, and a good representation of the community turned up to do just that. Back to you, Kathy.
Thanks, Fee. You can read all of this and more in this week's Oban Times and Lochaber Times, or just jump over to www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. Struggling with that today. www.westcoasttoday.co.uk, where you'll find all the news and features from all of our titles here on the West Coast. Well, that wraps us up for this week. So have a great week ahead and speak to you soon. That's goodbye from me, Kathy Griffiths.
Bye from me, Owen Wild.
Bye from me, Matt Young.
And bye from me, Fiona Scott.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.